For a while on my letterboxd, I kept making the claim that Spirit Untamed was my least favorite animated film of 2021. Then, several months later, that changed. And I'm guessing some people will be asking why? What made you put it higher on your best to worst list? The Addams Family 2 is the reason why. Spirit Untamed is still a terrible train wreck, and the corporate decisions made behind it will still rub me the wrong way, but at least the movie itself is mostly inoffensive. Painfully boring and frustrating, but inoffensive. This movie, on the other hand, pisses me off on both a corporate and quality scale, which is so strange considering I didn't hate the first Addams Family movie. It wasn't good, but it at least tried to capture the spirit of the original shows and movies, whereas Addams Family 2 is a soulless cash grab that clearly didn't try at all. And thankfully this time I've seen a few episodes of the cartoon to get an idea what this family should be like. Notice how the poster says, "Unhappy to see you again"? I could literally say the same thing about this. In this movie, Wednesday is growing tired of her family's antics and begins to suspect she isn't actually an Addams at all. But while that's going on, Gomez and Morticia decide to take the family on a road trip across America, but they also begin to suspect the same thought that Wednesday has. That's the basic setup of the movie as is, and already it feels like a complete table scrap of what we got in the first movie. Remember how there was this plot about Wednesday getting sick of her family and wanting to go out and see the world? That's basically the same thing here. She gets sick of her family and she wants to find out if she's really a part of it or not. This carries over a continuing problem I've been having with these movies. The Addams just don't seem like a very happy and loving family, and they're always afraid of pointless things. The first movie had them worried about that reality TV host villain who tries to make them look like a terrible family, and now we just go through the same unpleasant and annoying conflicts again. The cartoons, meanwhile, are the complete opposite. The Addams are supposed to be a very loving family and always enjoy each other's antics, and every time one of these movies tries to add conflict between them, it doesn't feel right. What's even the point of giving each family indifference with the other when it's clearly a kooky family like this that should be fine with their own antics? Why not, instead of having Wednesday think she doesn't fit in again, make it more of a spooky reason? Like maybe she feels out of place because she's not spooky enough, so the Addams take her on a road trip to spice up that creepy presence she thinks she's lacking. It would be kind of predictable, but it would be a lot more likable and fun to sit through than this contrived and rehashed story that doesn't try. Another thing to note here is that I don't give a single shit about any of the characters, no matter how hard this movie tries to make me sympathize with them. It tries to make me root for Wednesday, but I absolutely don't, especially since there are parts in this movie where she relentlessly bullies Pugsley without remorse, which is also different than how the cartoon did it, because Pugsley always enjoyed the torment he was going through. He was a kooky kid, it all felt tolerable, yet here you can clearly see him in agony and wanting it all to stop. It paints Wednesday as such a bully, and man, this movie has such a lame road trip narrative. As someone who loves Goofy Movie and Mitchell's vs. Machines, I was expecting to get decent amount of enjoyment out of that element at least. But instead, the Addams are always rushing along with their road trip because the scientists' minions are always chasing after them, and thanks to that lack of good family dynamic, why should I even care? The plot is also completely lost on itself. Once it sets up what issues the characters are going through, I know exactly where it's going, which again doesn't fit for a family that doesn't care about outside conflict. Every time a new plot point happened, I just kept thinking to myself, oh great, we're doing this story now. The stupidest part about that is that there actually are some surprises the movie tries to take, except a few seconds later they try to unsurprise you. Like, wait, don't think too much about what we just did, it was a fluke. What a manipulative piss poor way to grab audiences' attention. I don't care if it's trying to be funny, it's just lazy, or in some cases too mean-spirited to get enjoyment out of. None of the jokes made me laugh, though maybe it was because I was too busy trying to go to sleep. I didn't bring it up when talking about the first movie, but I hate how the music tries too hard to sound pop and trendy, which not only doesn't fit with the Addams family's time period, but is also going to date the movie by a fair amount. Remember how Snoop Dogg voices one of the characters from the last movie? They make him a rapper. Not even joking. This movie is that desperate to try and be hip with kids of that generation. So is there anything about this movie that works? Well, I guess the animation's a little better. The designs don't look all like shit this time, and the lighting's naturally really good in certain scenes. The butler's kind of cute, I guess. I like how he gets along with Wednesday when she tries to run away. I think that's it. I think that's a surefire sign of just how soulless and uninspired the Addams Family 2 is. I'm not gonna act like the original was good, but at least it had some effort put into it. But now if I can't even root for the characters like Wednesday, who I thought was tolerable in the first movie, then this movie didn't bother trying to suck me in again. It's exhaustingly boring, the characters are either annoying or mean-spirited, the music is unbearable, and screw the story for trying to surprise audiences only to rewind those surprises like they weren't important. I seriously hope there are no more Addams Family movies in this timeline because I don't think they can redeem themselves at this point. We really couldn't get Hotel Transylvania 4 at this point. We had to get this instead. Spirit Untamed might still be an awful movie, but at least it's not as dead in the water as this train wreck.